many times have you looked at your cat or your dog or your pet and you thought, I wonder what are they thinking? I wonder if they come from my soul family. I wonder whether or not we are connected. And many times we do ask these questions, and if you look around TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, you will actually know that the superstar that are online are usually our pets and animal in general. Whether we are talking about wild animals or pets, they all share a significant bond on this earth with us. And one of the most rare psychic ability, in my humble opinion, is definitely psychic communication. But the real questions for this video is, can you communicate with your animals? Well, the answer is yes, and let's find out how. Hello everyone, I am Neya and welcome back to my channel, Aradia Alchemy. On this channel, we talk about psychic abilities, spells, witchcraft, law of attraction, manifestation, and so much more. And in today's video, I just want to introduce one of my favorite topics of all time, which is pet psychics and animal communicator and communications. Now, many times we do hear about psychic abilities, and if you know me from my main channel, which is Neya Visions, I am a psychic since I was born. I was grown up in a family of witches, and so I got accustomed to psychic abilities since a very young age, and many times we do hear about psychic abilities like clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, and so much more. And all of the psychic abilities are amazing, and actually many psychic can also have animal communication. It's just that perhaps they don't know how to do it, perhaps they don't do it as often, and that's why I put pet psychics, and animal communicator in the rarest abilities. And if you do have these abilities, please comment down below, because I really feel that this is a special ability to have. But the common trait is that we all can feel a connection with animals, and we can all communicate with them at a certain level. And many people who have interacted with pets and who have interacted with animals, and even wild animals, they can swear to God, they can really swear that they have a deep connection with these beings, and they do see and can feel that indeed they have a soul and they have a purpose in this lifetime. I have a dedicated video about pets. The video is here on my channel. If you want to know more about their soul purpose and the reason why pets, but also animals in general, are here for us, and they do help us grow and expand as any other members of our soul family. But in this video, like I said, I just want to give you some quick tips and tricks on how to understand and how to develop your psychic abilities in order to communicate better and more effectively with your pets as well as animal in general. Now, what we do need to understand about the universe at large, and probably if you are familiar to these topics, you already know this, is that the universe and everything in the universe, and the universe, I will say, communicates with a very specific language. And this language is, of course, the language of vibration. We are vibrational beings, and animals are no exception to that. And in the spirit world, like I explained in my video about the spirit world on my Patreon, the link is down below, we do not have language. We do not have a tongue or a body to communicate. So how do we really communicate between souls? You probably know the answer. Comment down below if you already know. Well, obviously it's telepathy. So it's through telepathy that we communicate with every being in the universe. And this is what many psychic out there, and if you do have psychic ability, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. When you are picking up on the energy of an individual or even an animal, you know that you're getting some information, right? And you're getting this information through telepathy. Now, like I said, there are many ways in which you can get this intuition, you can get this information. And like I said, you could be clairaudient, clairvoyant, you can see visions, you can hear things, and that will depend really on what you're more accustomed to and how you perceive the energy. But when it comes down to animals, there is a peculiar way in which animals communicate with us, especially when they are not on the other side. So they are not really only souls, but they are actually physical beings, or soul having a cat or lion or animal experience. So what is this way, and how this knowing this can benefit you into understanding on how to develop this communication with animals? What animals do is they communicate through visions, most likely. In fact, many psychic that are clairvoyant, they communicate very effectively with animals because they do understand this on an intuitional level. So what do I mean when animals communicate with visions? Of course, they're holding vibration, which they will communicate with, but when you have to connect with an animal, most likely what you are going to see is flashbacks and images, because the way they also communicate telepathically with each other is very much related to the images that they see. And we did an experiment on the webinar where I taught you guys how to develop your own psychic abilities, because I really do believe that each and every one of us can develop psychic abilities. And this experiment that we did together, by the way, if you're interested in the webinar, you can watch it right now. The link is down below and it's on my courses. It's a webinar to develop psychic abilities. So we did an experiment over there and everybody was very shy because we were having already wonderful experience with each other on how to read other human beings. But then when I put the factor of reading my dog or my cat, they were very overwhelmed. They were like, well, we don't know whether we're capable to understand how your animal is feeling. And I was like, no, you can. You can if you understand how to do it. And the results that we have were extraordinary. They understood immediately. Like, for instance, my dog really loves to go in a particular area of the park where I usually take him every day. And the people on the webinar were guided, obviously, by the knowledge that I shared with them. They were able, without me saying anything, they were able to pinpoint the actual environment in which my dog loves to sit all the time. And I was amazed on how accurate and spot on they were, and imagine the excitement that they must have felt. So the first thing to understand is to obviously know that they do communicate with flashes and images. So this is very important to understand, because obviously when you are going to look at your cat or your dog, or perhaps if you are in a sanctuary, to any other animal, understanding that what is it that I need to discern with my intuition, and you know that you need to discern certain images, will help you telepathically connect with them, because your awareness will be focused on receiving these images. And therefore, if you won't doubt the images that you're getting, most likely you will see what they want you to see. But another step, number 2, another factor that is totally important when it comes down to pet communication, is to understand the law of vibration that we mentioned before. But how exactly? Now, as human beings, we are here on this planet to master emotion. Now, when it comes down to emotion, if you are familiar with yoga perhaps, or with the chakra system, we know that we have 7 important chakras within our body, right? And so obviously these chakras are going to move and create different vibration throughout the body. So when you're reading a human being, you can pick up on lower vibration as well as higher vibration, and you can communicate with them on a psychic level through many steps, because you can pick up on their root chakra, you can pick up on their crown chakra, and so on and so forth. But when it comes down to animal, you cannot really communicate with animals unless you are opening your heart chakra. So for instance, if you are a natural born empath, you probably have an expanded heart chakra. Or let's say that your dominant chakra is the heart chakra. Most likely you will be a perfect intuitive pet psychic or animal communicator, because, and we have so many videos online that do prove that animals really respond to our vibration, and they do respond most likely to the vibration of love. Why that is? Because animals are, on the contrary of humans, in constant communication with source energy. Animals are really so connected with the womb of creation and from where they come from. So Many people will say that they are not developed souls, but I will actually disagree with that, because my experience reading their energy is that the majority of animals, including wild animals, are actually on a vibrational level that it's much higher. And this is why they also do sacrifice a lot, and they put up with a lot. And I mean, if you ever watch cows getting slaughtered and their pain and what they go through on a soul level to sign on that contract, it's really heartbreaking. And only an advanced soul will put up with that. Now, obviously, I do not eat meat, and I'm not suggesting you to do that as well. But unfortunately, those realities are true, and there are animals suffering on this planet. And they do take on this because they are more on an advanced level, and they also take on this because they're teaching us something. They're mirroring something that we need to learn as another species. So obviously, the vibration of love, we know as members, you know, we could say a spiritual community, or simply being on a spiritual path, or being psychic, or being empath, we know that love is the highest vibration of all. There's no doubt about that. And obviously, love, it's the opposite coin, is on the other side of the spectrum in terms of vibration with fear. How many times, if you do have, you own, I don't like saying own, but one of your companion is a dog perhaps, or is a cat. How many times have you felt that your dog or your cat was picking up on the fear of some of the strangers out there, or some of your friends? How many times does some person that stepped up to your door, the dog immediately started to bark out of no reason, or the cat was like really weirded out? That is because they're picking up on their vibration. And most likely animals do pick up on fear. And I mean, this is something that even people that work with wild animals, such as tigers or lions, they will tell you, working on sanctuary, do not be afraid when you are in front of an animal, because they do pick up on fear. And the reason that is because they are so connected to source, and they are very much in tune with the vibration of love. So if you, on the other side, want to communicate with animals, the first work that you gotta do, apart from understanding the way they communicate, is to open your heart chakra. Now, obviously, if your dominant chakra is the heart chakra, you most likely are already picking up on their energy, and you might be thinking, am I going crazy? I always know where my animal is. And it's like, no, you're not crazy. You're just very much attuned. And therefore, opening up your heart chakra and communicating from the heart space will make it much easier for you to understand their emotions as well, and communicate with them on a telepathic level. Now, how to do that really? You can do this even with wild animals, and I'm going to give you this very simple example. I was in a sanctuary where they had felines, like big cats, and a friend of mine, I was trying to teach her how to communicate with this cougar. Now, obviously, with safety measurement and the guide with us and all of this, because they're still wild animals. So absolutely don't go to a cougar expecting that just opening your heart chakra will not make them attack you or anything like that, because they have free will as we do. But with the safety measurement, the cougar wasn't really showing himself. And we wanted to see him, of course. And remember, you are not going to make an animal obliged. You're not going to dominate, or perhaps like you're not going to oblige them to do anything that they don't want to. Remember, they do have free will, but you can communicate with them. So the cougar wasn't showing. He was probably in his house, sleeping and doing his thing. And so I was teaching my friend, and I say, listen, let's try to do this. It's going to be very fun. So I said, imagine your heart chakra expanding and radiating a pure sensation of love. And it's like sending love energy to another human being. So you can imagine a green light being around you and expanding, like your heart is expanding and pumping. And every time that it's pumping, this green light, this heart energy is expanding and expanding more around you and directed to the animal. They are going to pick up on that. And while you are expanding on this heart, beautiful energy, and with an energy of purity, like I said, in your heart, saying, I do not want to control you. I do not want to demand anything from you. I just want to love you. I just want to tell you that it's safe for you to show up, and we're here. We're here just to watch you. And if you're going to do it genuine in your heart, you're going to direct this heart energy to the animals so that you have in front. Most likely this animal is going to respond. And what happened, I will say like 3 minutes later, after we were trying to do this meditation, the cougar showed up, literally woke up and turned around and looked at us, and we were like, hey, hi, how you doing? And I saw an image of the cougar sending me this picture of saying, like, it showed me this tree, and he showed me that he wanted to sleep. He really wanted to sleep. And in fact, he turned around almost like to say hi and then went back to sleep. So that's how you communicate with animals. And so understanding that they're communicating with you through images and through the heart space will allow you to start communications. Now, obviously, when it comes down to wild animals, which are not very, in a sanctuary, it might be easier because they're obviously accustomed to human beings. But remember, they're still wild. So it's going to be a lot easier for you as a beginner to communicate with your pets, of course. But for instance, in the webinar that I did, like I said, people, through just communicating with the heart, so envisioning the images, not in their mind, not in any other area of their body, but just imagining this image, what they could get from the animal and communicating from the heart space, they were able to know and to see within their mind, within their third eye, exactly where my dog liked to stay in that park. And it was really, really amazing. So I know this is going to be a very quick video, but if you want to start improving your psychic abilities when it comes down to animal communication, my suggestion is to do meditation on the heart chakra and sending love energy. Now, obviously, if you are vegan or you are a vegetarian, they will know about this. They will pick up on this. They're not necessarily like they will judge you or anything like that, but let's say if you're talking like if you want to communicate with a predator, for instance, they wouldn't mind too much that you eat meat because that's what they do as well. I know it sounds really crazy, but that is the truth. And then it will depend also on the different animal. But let's say you want to communicate with a giraffe, they might they might understand that you're eating meat, and so they might be quite like not as open as a feline on the other hand could be. And what you have to understand about animals is that they all have their personalities, they all have their soul evolution, and all of them, like even if you say you take 2 chihuahuas, they're going to be very different, and the image that they're going to give to you, they are going to be very different, as well as you will pick up on the energy of any other human being. But in a simple YouTube videos, what we can say is, if you want to communicate with animals, you have to realize that their telepathy is very image oriented. So try to pick up on the images that you are seeing within your third eye. And you can do this while you are sending love, heart chakra energy at them, so they will be able to send you back those images on a telepathic level. And I promise you guys that if you will start this exercise today with your pet, with your dog, with your cat, with your lizard, I don't know what pet you have, just comment down below, you will have some very amazing information. And to conclude this video, I want to give you another example that might be helpful. For example, I own my friend is another cat that you probably guys know. It's a newbie. And a newbie, when I used to live with a garden in my house, loved, as every cat does, to go out and about and just explore the world. Now, obviously, that can be a little bit dangerous. Like, I let him do that because, you know, I believe in free will, and I believe that animals, if they want to do something, they should do it. And you shouldn't be too overly protective like a child. You're just their caretaker, but you need to let them unfold the way they naturally want to with all the safety measurement. So I allowed him to go out and about. But at the same time, sometimes I was getting worried. So every time, like I will say around 6 o'clock, I use the telepathy and the sending love from the heart space to call him back. One time, he wasn't coming back. It was the entire night. It wasn't coming back. So I was really, really worried. So what I did, I sat down on my garden and I literally done a heart chakra meditation, sending back, and imagine, like I literally imagined in my mind the backyard, like my garden, everything, and said, Anubi, my love, my sweetheart, it's really time to come home. Please, I'm really worried. you should come home. Like, I don't want to oblige you or anything, but I really feel that you should come home, and if you love your mommy, you should come home, because I'm really worried. While I was sending the image of the garden, remember, they do communicate with images, so it's very important that you telepathically communicate as well with images, and it's easy also to do that because you can visualize. I was visualizing the garden, which was his home, and at the same time, I was radiating love energy. It was very interesting because after half an hour, I literally could hear him, and he was like, meow, meow. And he came back, and obviously I was so happy. So also this communication on a beginner level can be very important if you have a cat, or you lose your dog, you lose your cat, and you want them to come back. And also, I do believe that if you start communicating with them with the psychic abilities and telepathically, your bond will really improve, and they might also tell you why they came into your life, why they have incarnated with you, and what sort of lesson they are teaching you. Now, I will leave this video up to that. Comment down below and tell me your relationship with your pets or with animals in general. What do you think about pet psychics and animal communicator? I find this psychic abilities extremely fascinating and one of my favorites. And let me know if you want more videos about animal communication. Perhaps you want to know, do animals actually reincarnate or not? Are they coming from our soul family? What is exactly their mission, or anything else that you want to do, as well as other videos on this channel? Comment down below and let me know. Subscribe with your ring bell on so you get always notified every time that I post new videos on this channel. And thank you so much for sticking around for this video today. And I really hope that you have found some useful information to communicate today with your pets. And know that yet again that I do have e-courses where I teach you tarot and also animal communication in my webinar about psychic abilities, and you'll just find it, and the link is down below. Thank you so much, and I see you guys very soon on this platform. Bye!